Right, that's it. The regular season in the URC is done and dusted, and we are into the meaty part of the season. It is playoff time, and we are going to preview all 4 epic matches that are coming this weekend. So go grab yourself a quick snack as we run down everything that is happening in the URC this weekend. Let's start with Friday night's game as the champions Glasgow and league leaders start off this awesome playoff weekend at home at Scotstoun against Connacht, who finished 8th. And remember, last week Ulster had the chance to knock them out of Champions Cup qualification and unfortunately came up short against Montpellier, which means no matter what happens on Friday night, Connacht will be in next year's Champions Cup, which is fantastic for Stuart Lancaster's side as they look to strengthen next year with the likes of Kieran Frawley as well. But the biggest battle, funny enough, this weekend is him against his son, of all people. So Dan Lancaster obviously will be lining up probably for Glasgow, and Stuart Lancaster obviously a coach of Connacht. But do we see anything other than a Glasgow win? Probably not. Glasgow had such a great start to the season. They led all the way for the beginning of the year. Stormers obviously were there or thereabouts as well. But we thought before the Six Nations, Glasgow were looking fantastic. They had a little dip in form. And obviously towards the end of the season, they managed to pick it back up again to finish top of the table. So do we see anything other than a Glasgow win? Not really, but would love to see Connacht put out a real good, strong match to start us off this awesome weekend. But ATR's going for Glasgow Warriors. And then on Saturday, we have a triple South African header, starting off with the Bulls versus Munster. Now, we've seen this a couple of times. This, if both teams are fully stacked, can be a phenomenal match. Now, we know that Munster have had troubles on and off the pitch all year. Crowley hasn't played the last couple of games, having pulled out of the warm-up of the last games of the season as well. Bulls, although they are absolutely stacked from front row to fullback, they just haven't always put their best side together and their best performance together. But when Pollard and LaRue are on form, that front row, no one can handle. So, look, we haven't seen the teams just yet as we're filming this, but we are going to say that the Bulls will win, and unfortunately Munster will end what has been a disappointing season for them. Next up, we have Stormers versus Cardiff. Now, Stormers led again with Glasgow a lot of the season. They were undefeated for so long and they were leading so many stats across the URC and in the Champions Cup as well. And then they had a little bit of a blip, obviously, up once they sent a third team to Quins. And it kind of just was up and down from there. But on their day, the likes of Sasha and Vilimsa linking up, absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the announcement this week of Colby coming next year. Stormers will be flying high. Cape Town will be absolutely buzzing. And as for Cardiff, look, they are the only Welsh side represented in the playoff. They had a very good season by their standards, considering at the beginning of the year, they started with, talks of administration and getting sold, this, that, and the other. No coach as well. Coach left to go to Wales. So, look, fair play to Cardiff. At home, they were fantastic. We saw that at the end of the season as well. But away in South Africa, in Cape Town, I just don't see anything other than a Stormers win. So that's 2 out of the 3 South African sides we're saying going through. And then the fourth and final match of the weekend sees Leinster, after a very disappointing Champions Cup final, try and get home advantage back at the Aviva against the Lions, who have made the playoffs for the first time. We've seen a number of Lions called into Springbok alignment camp as well. They've been really good all year. We've been saying the likes of Henko van Wyk in the centres. Quan Horn's been there or thereabouts as well, one of the best fullbacks in the league. Up front, obviously they've had a little bit of drama recently with some drug scandals, but the rest of the team have been playing above their skin. But if anyone's going to have a chip on their shoulder this weekend, it's probably going to be Leinster. So I don't see that Leinster probably took it too far on the weekend and drowned their sorrows enough that Lions will have a chance. But it's a one-off game, and obviously Leinster will be massively disappointed. But I think that whatever team they put out will still be strong enough against this Lions side. So we're going for a Leinster win. So if that all goes the way that I predict it, we are looking at a Glasgow Bulls semi-final in Scotland. And then on the other side, we are looking at Stormers against Leinster at the Aviva, which We'll make 2 incredible semi-finals, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We've got 4 amazing games to look forward to, so keep an eye on allthingsrugby.com and on the rugby app once the teams are released, and then obviously during the games as well. All of your stats will be there, and then if you miss any of the games, make sure you stick around for the highlights. But that's the ATR's predictions. Let us know what you think in the comments. Obviously, we cannot wait for a great weekend of rugby. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and all of that jazz to follow everything that's happening in the world of rugby here on All Things Rugby.